Hey nerds and nerdettes, it's Rick here, and I just finished my little mini documentary. Something a little different for you guys. I was talking about it yesterday or the day before when I was doing my little channel update video. I just finished it. I'm getting ready to upload it right now. So what follows is the little documentary on a haunted place in my neck of the woods called Rogues Hollow. So here it is, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. If you like what you see, as always, please subscribe.
Nestled upon the highest point in Wayne County, Ohio, 13 miles southwest of Akron, rests a sleepy little village. It's quaint, quiet, a working-class town that holds fiercely to its motto of Village of Values, a Town of Tradition. Its downtown drag consists of only 2 blocks, which house 2 gas stations, an ice cream shop, a library, and 1 streetlight. Welcome to Doylestown, Ohio. Population 3,070. And while on its surface it would appear to be the perfect white picket fence, everybody knows everybody Mayberry type town, an ideal place to raise a family, this was not always the case. Below the surface, in the shadows, rests an area plagued with a history of violence and is a hotspot of paranormal activity. Resting smack dab in the middle of Doylestown is a now nearly forgotten mining town, a ghost town. Established in the 1800s, it was at one time considered to be the most lawless place in America, so much so that lawmen refused to enter the area. Described as Ohio's Sleepy Hollow, you're about to meet the incredibly creepy Rogues Hollow. Now a largely rural area that houses many families, it has a history of being so haunted that only the bravest or the most foolish would dare enter it. There have been many tragedies that have fallen upon this area, and with each of them, a new legend. And with each legend, bring the ghosts of the poor souls who had the misfortune of dying here. It has been said that the ghosts of miners that worked in one of the 5 mines in the area can still be seen along the roadways. Many stories have come through the years, many personal experiences, and many widespread mass sightings. There have been many reports in this area, including devilish creatures, impish creatures, spirits in frontier clothing, and much more.
Of course, what makes this place the creepiest is always the personal stories. My own family, my uncle, we called him Uncle Gary, he was actually my second cousin, was driving across these railroad tracks in the 1970s. And as soon as he come across the railroad tracks, his car stalled right there. Now, while his car was stalling, of course, one headlight from a train was coming down the railroad tracks towards him. Tried to start his car, wasn't happening. Right at the last second, right as the train was approaching, right here where I'm standing right now, his car finally started, he made it over the railroad tracks, safe as could be. When he turned back around, absolutely no train. Now, this is a guy that I trust completely. He wouldn't lie to me, he wouldn't make it up. And you could see it in his eyes, that he was terrified of that moment in his life. And again, I'm standing right here in the place where it happened, and now I've got the heebies. I'm out.
One of the most popular stories of Rogues Hollow is that of Chidester's Mill. Settled by Samuel Chidester and his brothers in 1828, the siblings built a log cabin and a sawmill, and from the sawmill they built a wool mill on Silver Creek, from which they made their living. While now a reproduction of the original mill and housing a museum, the structure still gives off an incredibly eerie vibe. The original burnt down to the ground under mysterious circumstances, and some claim that it was due to the spirit of Samuel Chidester, angry and jealous at the recent sale of his mill to an outsider, destroying it so as to not share what he built with his own 2 hands. However, the most popular story of Chidester's Mill is that of the ghost of a mill worker who fell into the moving wheel and was crushed to death under the churning waves. It is said that he is still seen at night, attempting to finish his work at the mill. And of course, what ghost town isn't complete without its own crybaby bridge? While there are many throughout Ohio, it's this particular one that stands out above the rest, both in part to where it's located and the history of this area.
Now, many towns have the story of Crybaby Bridge, and this town is no exception. I am standing right here on Crybaby Bridge. Now, there's two different stories to go along with this particular bridge. One being a jilted mother, single mother, jilted by her lover, who took the baby and threw it over into the river. The other being that a parent of a child crashed into this river. The parents died upon impact, however, the baby died much later of starvation. Now, the legend has it that if you are here on any given night, you can hear the gurgling cries of a child over the edge of the bridge. Typically, it's around midnight. It is about 7 right now, so I don't plan on sticking around to find out, but there's the legend of the Crybaby Bridge.
Throughout all the tales, the legend most associated with this area is that of the Headless Horse at Ghost Oak Tree. While now cut down, Ghost Oak Tree at one time had a branch that hung so far down, riders had to duck as to avoid being struck by it. Legend has it that one poor soul struck down is a horse. The creature ran full force into the ice-weighted branch, severing its head completely. From that point on, many hauntings occurred in which multiple riders reported seeing a devilish creature sitting on the ghost of the Headless Horse under the tree. Again, many experiences here are very personal. My own father swears up and down that he drove by and saw a psychic tent in a field at one point, only for it to be gone when he returned to the same spot 15 minutes later. Some report seeing the spirits of matching ghosts floating above the ground on Clinton Road. Some see a lady in gray on Hollow Road nearly. Everyone who drives through there, under the right conditions, experiences something. So what makes this area such a hotbed of activity? Who knows? While the village of Doylestown likes to embrace these legends with their annual Rogues Hollow Festival, to many, the area is no lighthearted matter. To those, it is considered to be a sore spot, a terrifying location with a sordid history. The town continues to be a haunting place a century later, and for a good reason. Many dilapidated original structures still stand in Rogues Hollow, and with that come the spirits attached to them. I know I personally get a nervous feeling while traveling here, and I'm not someone that's easily rattled by the unseen. All I know is that it is truly something that one needs to experience for themselves. And I challenge you to venture out there, if you're brave or foolish enough.